Now, ahead of the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections, the political battlefield is on fire. And the biggest question mark right now is whether the Congress-DMK alliance is on or not. There's a confrontation clearly over seat sharing, but a bigger confrontation perhaps over power equations. Sources now say that the Congress is eyeing Puducherry and Kerala over Tamil Nadu, and it's for the same reason that they intend to be close to TVK chief Vijay for his support. There's been a lot of talk that the Congress is essentially keeping Vijay as their plan B if the DMK remains adamant on the fact that there's going to be no power sharing. Congress leader Pinarayi Kumar has stirred the pot further by backing a possible tie-up with Vijay and his party, claiming such an alliance could win up to 70 seats and even throw out the DMK. And then you have Congress MP Mani Shankar Aiyar, who day after day has been targeting the DMK rather publicly, saying the party is still waiting for seat-sharing talks, demanding respect from the DMK. The AIADMK is mocked to all of this, saying that clearly the DMK is not able to see eye to eye with their own ally.
Sir, even after High Command's decision now, Mani Shankar Aiyar yesterday held a meeting in Madurai and he has spoken about power sharing, about certain issues. How was TNCC President you going to react to this?
So already I updated to All India Congress Committee. All India Congress Committee will take appropriate action.
Sir, even after High Command's decision now, Mani Shankar Aiyar yesterday held a meeting in Madurai and he has spoken about power sharing, about certain issues. How was TNCC President you going to react to this?
So already I updated to All India Congress Committee. All India Congress Committee will take appropriate action.
So what's going on between the Congress and the DMK? Here's what the Congress wants right now, and this is what essentially is many of the sticking points. Congress wants equal say in decisions, power sharing. In the government, they have no role whatsoever in Tamil Nadu, and it's been like this for decades. The DMK has said the focus is on an alliance. There's going to be no concessions whatsoever. They want status quo. There's no question of changing things or of more power being given to the Congress. The Congress has also said that, while we get alliance seats, there's no numbers really that comes our way. That ultimately, if you look at how the Congress contests, it's double digits, 20, 25 seats. The DMK has said that we are the leaders of this alliance. We can win with or without the Congress, which is why they're playing hardball right now. Congress has said at this point that DMK and speaking out at this point does in fact lead to certain issues, but they're doing it very consciously to send out a message that, look, you may think that we can't contest on our own, but we are ready to do it. But the DMK also is making it very clear that we're ready to go ahead and contest alone. But beyond that, also the other aspect is that Congress believes that to get any respect within the alliance means that they must be given certain power and certain influence. The DMK has responded saying we prefer flexibility over power sharing. As Chief Minister Stalin said very clearly, there's no question of the people of Tamil Nadu accepting power sharing. Even if you see the AIADMK, their terms and conditions to their allies are very clear. The power sharing is simply a big no. It's always been how politics is played out in Tamil Nadu. The Congress has said very clearly that while we want power sharing, we want governance roles as well. The DMK has said exactly what I spoke of. The Tamil Nadu has never accepted power sharing agreements, power sharing deals. Anaga Keshav is joining us live from Chennai with more details on this. Anaga, there's a clear split. There may be attempts to deny it, but the reality is that the DMK and Congress haven't moved forward with any sort of dialogue so far. Is the DMK going to also kind of hit back at all of the charges, at all of the narratives by the Congress that come what may, they want power sharing?
In fact, Akshita, it was the Chief Minister who on India Today made it very, very clear that the concept of power sharing will not sit well with the people of Tamil Nadu and for the state. So it's very clear that if at all the DMK comes to power, there will not be any sort of power sharing with Congress. However, there are few leaders in Congress party that are sort of fanning the flames of rift between the DMK and the Congress. Let's take the examples of Mani Shankar Aiyar and even Praveen Chakravarti. These two leaders, every single day, they have continuously been making statements statements against their own alliance partner. And that's not really helping the two parties progress in terms of seat sharing talks. In fact, it's on February 22nd that there is supposed to be a seat sharing meeting happening between the DMK and the Congress. And the calls within the DMK circles are growing louder for action to be taken against Manikam Tagore and Praveen Chakravarti. In fact, Selva Perundugai, who heads the Congress for Tamil Nadu, is going to be meeting with AICC Chief Mallikarjun Kharge, where it's quite likely that this particular issue about these two leaders constantly making statements against the DMK that's not really working down in the state, that issue is also likely to be discussed in that crucial meeting.
All right, Anaga, thanks for those details. As we track really what's playing out, we're also hearing, as Anaga points out, that there are demands being put forth by the DMK saying crack the whip against the likes of Manikam Tagore for speaking out and demanding power sharing. Crack the whip against the likes of Praveen Chakravarti. The DMK is putting forth some of these demands, saying talks can happen only if this is done. Because while you have the Tamil Nadu Congress saying one thing, some of these leaders are saying quite the other. But is the Congress really serious right now of cutting ties, snapping ties with the DMK? Can they afford to do it? Here's essentially what are their options. They can stay with the DMK, which means essentially it's a safe way out. You continue with the alliance, you continue with seat sharing, you push maybe for a few more seats than you got previously because power sharing is not on the table. The second option, perhaps a more risky one and a bit of a gamble, is a third front bet. You tie up with Vijay, split DMK votes, and this is something, mind you, that's very much on the table. Our sources have repeatedly confirmed that the Congress isn't, hell-bent on an alliance with the DMK. They're very much open to dumping the DMK and going with TVK as well, to go solo completely. Now, this is something that they won't be keen on, to play on Rahul Gandhi's face, rebuild cadre base. From, of course, the 1960s, you've not really seen the Congress being on their own or strong in Tamil Nadu. So that's a big challenge for them to be actually able to go solo. What about the DMK? Why is it that the DMK is insisting right now that there's no way power sharing will happen? They could go ahead and stall the Congress till elections. They could move forward with seat sharing talks and then say at the same time, there's no clarity whatsoever on power sharing. We'll cross that bridge when we get there and keep the upper hand as a result. They could stall. They're choosing, however, not to do that. They could also go without Congress. They've got other allies, regional players with them. There's high confidence, also messaging involved if they do that. They will ensure that they rely on their strong state machinery, which they very much do, plus other allies. But this is, let's be clear, very much a gamble for the DMK too. They do rely on the Congress. They very smartly consolidate with the Congress. And so it is important to get those seats in an election where you've got a new player, where you've got the AIA, DMK also consolidating in a similar manner. The third option, of course, the safest one, continue with Congress, but it'll be difficult because then you don't control the narrative. You agree to power sharing, which, as in fact Chief Minister Stalin has said, has never really happened. And if that's something that, the DMK agrees to, we'll have to see whether the people are for it or not. Let me just take you back to what Chief Minister Stalin said last week. When he was asked about the Congress, he said the alliance will continue, but said no question of power sharing. Here's what he said.
Lot of speculation in Delhi that will the DMK-Congress alliance fight this election together or not? Will you share power? Will you fight election
Congress
together?
கூட்டணி இணக்கமா இந்த எலெக்ஷன்ல இருக்குமா?
நிச்சயமா இருக்கும். மத்தவங்க நினைக்கிற மாதிரி இல்ல. அதெல்லாம் உங்கள மாதிரி மீடியாக்கள் பண்ற பிம்பங்கள்.
You are giving us a big point. You are saying no, that you all will fight election together. Will you share power?
ஆட்சியில் பங்குன்றத பத்தி
அது தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு ஒத்து வராது அப்படிங்கிறது எங்களுக்கும் தெரியும், அவங்களுக்கும் தெரியும். அது இடையில சில பேர் கிளப்பி ஒரு பிரச்சனை, கூட்டணியில் ஏதாவது முறிவு ஏற்படுத்துமா அப்படிங்கிறத ஏற்படுத்துகிற ஒரு திட்டமிட்ட சதி செய்கிறாங்க. அது வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை. அதை பற்றி நாங்களும் கவலைப்படல, அப்புறம் கவலைப்படல அதை பற்றி.
And repeatedly they have been saying that ADMK is a slave to BJP. They are repeatedly saying this, but it is not true. In 1999, in the Lok Sabha elections, this DMK went to elections forming an alliance with BJP. So, will it mean that they enslaved themselves with the BJP? It is not that. So, when you form an alliance, you are not calling it a slavery. But when we form an alliance, you are calling it slavery. What is this double standard? And I would like to say that Stalin is a
ஆனா
puppet,
சேலஞ்ச் இருக்கா சார்? ஏன்னா ஒரு
puppet in
இமேஜ்
the hands
இருக்கு,
of
பாஜக ஒரு
certain people.
நார்த் இந்தியன்
And
பார்ட்டி,
he doesn't
அவங்க
know
அவுட்
anything.
சைடர்ஸ்னு,
He is
அதனால
about
அதிமுகக்கு ஒரு
political
வீக்னஸ்
reality.
ஆயிருக்கா இந்த கூட்டணி?
But still,
ஆனா இங்க
there is a criticism against your forming alliance with the BJP. See, I would like to point out that BJP is an all-India party and it has its presence all over the country. It has formed state governments in many
இந்த
parts
இம்போசிஷன்
of many
சொல்றாங்க
states in the
அந்த
country.
மாதிரி.
And that is why it is a strong party. We have formed an alliance.
And let's get to now a shocking remark that's been made by Tamil Nadu BJP leader, vulgar abuse at a woman Congress MP. Now, this is Jyotimani, the Congress MP who's been targeted, and the kind of comments that have been made against her is horrifying. On camera, the Tamil Nadu BJP Neta resorts to all kinds of vile abuse, sexist comments that I'm not willing to even read out on national television. But this is what the BJP leader has spoken of. While attacking her politics, he goes on to make a crass, disgusting, sexist personal remark.
ஜோதிமணி அவர்களை இந்த நாட்டை விட்டு வெளியேற்றப்பட வேண்டும். ராகுல் காந்தியோட ஸ்டெப்னி இந்த பாராளுமன்றம், இந்த மாதிரி ஆளுகளை இந்த நாட்டை விட்டு நம்ம நாடு நடத்தணுங்கிறதா எங்களுடைய. ஏன்னா எதுக்கு வேணாலும் துணிஞ்சிருச்சு, அது சேலை எழுத்து நிக்கிற கூட தயாரா இருக்கு. அப்படிப்பட்ட ஈன பிறவி இந்த காங்கிரஸ் பாராளுமன்ற உறுப்பினர்.
This is a sexually degrading language, threats and public humiliation are used as weapons to push women back into silence. This is meant to scare women away from politics, from leadership and from democratic participation itself. But I am not someone to succumb to this kind of things. I just put it on a public. They think actually I should be ashamed. I should be shamed. I should shut myself inside four walls after my home. But I'm not that kind of person. Why I just put it in a public domain? There is nothing for me to be ashamed of. They have to be ashamed. They have to be shamed in a public. And also we have filed, yesterday my district president has filed a complaint. There was an FIR filed in appropriate sections, including the outraging the modesty of the woman and defamation and the threat.
Ma'am, will you be filing a complaint, ma'am, at Mr. Sendilnathan?
Yeah, we have already filed a complaint. My district president has filed a complaint. FIR has been filed.
FIR has been filed.
Let's move on now to Kerala, where again you've got elections coming up in just about 1.5 months. There's a political storm that's erupted within the Congress, within the UDF, triggered by party veteran Mani Shankar Aiyar. During his Kerala visit, Aiyar lodged sharp attacks on his own party. He openly praised Pinarayi, Vijayan and MK Stalin for their leadership. The Congress has distanced themselves, saying they have absolutely nothing to do with Mani Shankar Aiyar or his comments, saying it's personal comments. But the reality is that he took that a step forward to even go ahead and call KC Venugopal a rowdy. Listen.
Please, sir, pick up the baton that the Congress has dropped.
Party veteran Mani Shankar Aiyar has triggered a major political embarrassment for the grand old party.
Can you imagine what is the condition of a party which raises a rowdy like KC Venugopal to the level of the Sardar Patel to Rahul Gandhi?
He launched sharp attacks on the Congress, Rahul Gandhi and even the Kerala unit, even as he openly praised Kerala CM Pinarayi Vijayan and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister MK Stalin.
In the presence of the Chief Minister, who I'm sure will be the next Chief Minister, I renew my plea that in order to reinforce Kerala as the best Panchayati Raj state in the country, if the India bloc is consolidated, and I think the best man to consolidate it is MK Stalin.
Speaking to India today, he doubled down on his charges and reiterated support for Pinarayi.
Two civil servants, they laid down what were the achievements of the Pinarayi government. And therefore, it does not seem to me that such an intelligent electorate as in Kerala will vote for anyone else. I may want them to vote for the UDF, but they're just too intelligent to be cheated. So they're going to vote for the LDF.
As the controversy grew, the Congress moved swiftly to distance itself from the leader. Khera said Aiyar has had no connection with the party for years. And Venugopal echoed that line, calling Aiyar's remarks his personal opinion.
കോൺഗ്രസിന്റെ അഭിപ്രായമല്ല, അദ്ദേഹം വ്യക്തിപരമായ അഭിപ്രായം. കോൺഗ്രസുമായിട്ട് യാതൊരു ബന്ധവുമില്ല. മണി ശങ്കർ അയ്യർ കഴിഞ്ഞ കുറേ നാളുകളായിട്ട് കോൺഗ്രസിന്റെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് അസോസിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആളല്ല.
A firestorm, old fault lines exposed. And another movement of damage control for the grand old party as crucial state polls loom. The question now, will the Congress prove Mani Shankar Aiyar wrong, or will his words turn prophetic? Bureau Report, India Today.
The most surprising story has emerged from Egypt of Tamil Brahmi inscriptions, which is ancient Tamil, inside royal tombs in the Valley of Kings. And this is again evidence of Tamil civilization's reach globally centuries ago. In more proof of ancient India's global connections as well, a Tamil trader's name has been found in some of these inscriptions, confirming that these Tamil traders actually traveled far beyond previously thought trade routes. One of those inscriptions actually reads, Sikkai Koran Varakanta, which translates to Sikkai Koran came and saw. And this was 2,000 years ago in one of the most protected royal complexes deep in the tomb area used for pharaohs, including Ramesses VI. Now, Sikkai Koran, it is assumed, is a trader's name. The fact that all of these inscriptions were in Tamil confirms that natives from ancient Tamilagam traveled not just to port cities, but well into the heart of Egypt. And there was active trade between Egyptian kings and ancient India. But it also establishes once again the rich history of Tamil, the footprint of the ancient Tamil civilization across the world. We're cutting across to the first images coming in of Prime Minister Modi at the AI Impact Summit in the Bharat Mantapam in the national capital. Those pictures on your screens there of the Prime Minister entering and interacting with all of those who are present in the summit there, of all the stalls that are there. This is the Prime Minister making his way through and also, in a sense, getting a trial of what several of these entrepreneurs have to offer. Now, Prime Minister Modi has repeatedly highlighted what really the AI revolution means for India and how he wants India to be an engine of sorts for this change. Which is why he's also putting the focus on this AI Impact Summit. You can see some of the trials taking place before the Prime Minister, demonstrations of what they've actually pulled off using the help of artificial intelligence. This is an event that Prime Minister Modi's put great focus on, which is why you've also seen world leaders being brought together, the biggest tech leaders from across the world, all coming together, assembling on this one platform at the World AI Impact Summit in Bharat Mantapam of the national capital. And as we continue to get you these images of the Prime Minister moving from stall to stall for each of these entrepreneurs who are present, this is a huge moment. They're not just getting a chance to pitch to the government what they're doing, but they're also pitching to the world, essentially. Because like I said, with the biggest tech leaders coming together at this event, it opens up a whole avenue of opportunities, of possibilities for these young entrepreneurs, and for so many of these groups who are trying to innovate using the help of artificial intelligence. With the AI Impact Summit kicking off today, it's going to be, in fact, open over the next few days. And you're going to be seeing dignitaries streaming in one after another, particularly on the 18th, which is Wednesday, which is when you'll see the likes of the French president, the Brazilian president. You'll also have the likes of Bill Gates and several others visiting the Bharat Mantapam for this particular summit. But these are images on your screens from just moments ago of the Prime Minister moving from one pavilion to another in Bharat Mantapam, getting a sense of the kind of innovation that Indians have managed to achieve using artificial intelligence. And you see very clearly on most of these stalls, the messaging is about solutions. which is what the Prime Minister has also put the focus on. In fact, just about yesterday when he did an interaction with the Press Trust of India, Prime Minister Modi also spoke about reforms and about artificial intelligence playing such a big role in that, in the growth of this country and in ensuring that adequate reforms are brought in. In fact, in a very candid moment in that particular interview, he also says that while we've achieved so much, I'm never someone who's ever fully satisfied. And that's why you're seeing again a push there by the Prime Minister to get as many people on board on one stage, one platform to get opportunities to India. India, of course, with its massive resources, can also step up and ensure that as far as the AI revolution goes, we lead from the front. And so while you've seen a whole lot of talk, dialogue really about whether India is really right up there in the AI revolution, we're taking steps in that effort. Opportunities, yes, but there is also a need, which will happen over the next few days, on the challenges that we've been seeing in bringing in and kind of molding AI into our daily lives. There is, of course, that big question about what that means when you bring in artificial intelligence. Does that mean challenges in also bringing and affecting human resources, human capital? That's one of those issues that will be addressed. But you see the Prime Minister right now speaking to Sunil Bharti Mittal also, and there in the Airtel stall, which is why you see some of these big business honchos also present. And this is interesting to say the least. You know, you see young entrepreneurs, you see the likes of some of the biggest business honchos all together on one stage, in one area, all getting the same opportunity, the same platform of meeting the Prime Minister, pitching their ideas, showing what they've been able to do. Another AI platform, of course, is Sarvam AI, and you see the Prime Minister there at that particular stall. Because, you know, while you hear of artificial intelligence, and every one of us uses it one way or another in our lives, largely almost in the format of open AI. I'm referring to ChatGPT, of course, or on your WhatsApp. There's so much more that artificial intelligence can bring to the table, which is something that's unexplored in India as well. We're seeing companies making that effort. We're seeing companies also stepping into this arena, trying to do their bit, revolutionize how India works. And for the government to step into that, for the government to play a role in that is also crucial. As you can see there on your screens, the Prime Minister continuing to meet with all of the leaders in artificial intelligence. It's no longer the future, it's the present. And that's what the government is constantly stressing on as well with these kind of initiatives. They've gone all out to ensure that this event is a success, that it sees some of the biggest voices from across the world coming together. And the messaging here is very important. It's about not just us housing or being in fact the base of this kind of an event, but also ensuring that from there we take off and ensure these ideas take off to kick off a revolution of sorts in India, where artificial intelligence is the base, where artificial intelligence becomes how India functions also in a way seamlessly. Aishwarya Paliwal is joining us with more details on this. Aishwarya, images on our screens of Prime Minister Modi interacting with so many entrepreneurs, so many business honchos, which is great to see because, you know, this is one platform that gives so many opportunities to these groups.
Well, you know, Akshita, this is something that the government had been planning for at least the past 1 year. You know, the last AI summit took place in Paris in 2025, and that is when Prime Minister Modi had made up his mind that this is something that we will see being done in India. Also, let me tell you, from the 16th, that is today, till the 20th, we will see, growth opportunities coming in. The government is very, very clear that it is India which now is ready to make sure that it takes on the world when we speak about AI. And the way in which the world needs to come together, that is also something that the government has been focusing on over the past few years. The government believes that this is the right time for India to tell the world where it stands. And let me tell you, one of the things that we will see happening on the 19th is when the French president also will be speaking with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Both of them will be here in the pavilion. Both of them will be speaking about AI and AI in health. Akshita, let me tell you, that is something that now has been the focus point of the government. You know, Akshita, we will see the French president also visiting AIMS, and we will see both of them speaking about how collaboration can happen between both the countries with regard to AI in healthcare, and the largest pavilion here also is with regard to that, because that is something that we will see both of them speaking about. What does India do in terms of healthcare, and how will we infuse healthcare along with AI? That is also something that will be the focus coming together. We will see the Prime Minister also speaking in just a couple of minutes from now. Prime Minister Modi will be focusing on how India has actually arrived. The focus
has actually arrived. The focus at the moment is to make sure that the world understands the importance of AI and also the safeguarding of AI. That is something that the world very clearly needs to look at. Akshita.
To also focus on, Aishwarya, what makes this event so huge? You know, this isn't something we've ever seen in India, but even globally, this is a massive headline-grabbing event simply because of the kind of dignitaries lined up by the government for the event. You know, I'm talking about world leaders. You mentioned Emmanuel Macron, the Brazilian President Lula da Silva will be, will be there. You'll have the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. You have Pedro Sanchez, the Spanish President, also in attendance. So many global dignitaries combined with tech leaders, which is what makes this event so unique. And I'd actually say, Aishwarya, that this isn't one of a kind for India. It's actually one of a kind in the world.
Well, definitely, you know, the government has been focusing on, not just now, but over the past many years, the government's focus has been AI. In fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, even when he's been speaking with certain ministers, has been focusing on the importance of AI. The government believes that data is the new gold, and very often, Akshita, this is something that we have even seen, how it is technology which is now helping the nations. The government also, time and again, has been focusing on and has been saying that we now need to make that leap. We now need to move from being a developing nation to being a developed nation. One of the core things that we will see happening is the AI and the technology. On the back of technology, we need to do that, and how we can infuse technology not just in one sphere but in different spheres. You know, Akshita, I was just walking around, and one of the things that we have seen over the past few days is the fact that healthcare is something that we have seen AI look very strongly at. In fact, let me tell you, there are robotics also here in a lot of places where we can see the surgeries happening with the use of AI. So that is something that the government is very keenly looking at, and how the world can actually
Bharat Mantapam, you've seen the kind of setup there, but tell me something, you know, of all the stalls that you've seen, which is the one that impressed you the most? What's the most unique or interesting innovation using AI that you saw?
Well, the operation, Akshita, let me tell you, that was being done using AI, because the precision is stunning. You know, it just blows your mind the way in which, we all saw how there was an operation theatre and the precision with which the surgery was being done. This is something that the government has been focusing on. And you must have seen, Akshita, how over the past many budgets, the government has in fact been increasing the spending on AI and on technology. So that is something that the government's focus point is. And this is an event that Prime Minister Modi, in fact, let me tell you, his entire team, all of them were very keenly looking at over the past 1 year, because the last AI summit that happened in Paris in 2025, that actually was a huge success. The world came together, and we have seen these kind of summits happening earlier also. One of them happened in Abu Dhabi, and the idea is to make sure that the world understands what's exactly happening. Exchange of technologies, Akshita, let me tell you, that is also something that is very clearly been the agenda and the focus of the government. We will see a lot of MOUs also being signed, and the top leadership with regards to AI also now is in India. The idea is very, very clear. We all need to march together, and we all need to make sure that there are safeguards that are being put in place. And that is something from what I understand Prime Minister Modi will also be touching upon. He will be touching upon the fact that we all need to make those strides with regards to technology, but we also need to safeguard data. That is something that has been the core focus of the government over the past many days.
There's always been a whole lot of talk in India, and it's been a healthy discourse, of course, about whether India has actually done enough. At a time of AI revolution, was India kind of lagging behind? Were other countries leading from the front with startups that focused more on artificial intelligence? we're there now. You know, the AI revolution that everyone's been talking about, India is there. We're catching up, yes, but we're doing it at an extremely fast pace, and the government's role in that is extremely crucial as well in providing that necessary support, which is what Aishwarya's an event like this does. You know, when you put up these stalls in a Bharat Mantapam, you get a chance to present to the Prime Minister. That's the world's eyes on you. That opens up literally a world of opportunities for so many of these companies, and that's what stands out for me. You know, you see these massive companies with the likes of Sunil Bharti Mittal speaking to the Prime Minister, and then you have these smaller startups also getting a chance to pitch to the Prime Minister, and that's such a unique platform, you know, for so many of these companies that would have perhaps felt completely ignored right up until now, and now they know the government is listening, that the world is listening.
Well, definitely, you know, the other thing that we will see after the end of this summit is the fact that a lot of startups, and that's something that the government has been focusing on. The government actually understands that there are many startups, especially with regards to AI. They will also get a push. The government, in fact, Akshita, has been pushing the private sector, has been pushing the smaller players to make sure that they have a competitive edge. And how do you understand what's happening in the world when these kind of pavilions are set up in India? So that exchange of technology obviously is now taking place, but Indian startups are also understanding what's happening, not just in India, not just in Asia, but across the world. What's happening globally? So the players in India will understand that, and that in fact will help them in making sure that their products are at par. In tandem, we will also see the top heads, the top CEOs, all of them speaking about the fact that safeguarding of data, that is also something that needs to be done. See, we all understand that when we speak about India, the government has been very clear. The use of AI pictures, the use of data, and also the misuse, rather, that we have seen happening over the past few days. Akshita, if you remember, a lot of women MPs, in fact, have been raising this issue. They have been speaking about the fact that Grok and AI, all of them are now being used, and some videos and pictures have started doing rounds. So that is also something that the government now needs to focus on. What can be done, not just in India, but globally, that will be the focus point when we will see the interactions of the top leadership take place.
No, you're right. You know, regulation, challenges, all of that will also come up in the conversations, hopefully, that we see span over the next few days at the AI Impact Summit. But, you know, the Prime Minister, while speaking about AI, which I say doesn't just stand for artificial intelligence, it's linked so closely to India's growth that you could say AI stands for Atmanirbhar India, that you could say AI stands for accelerating India, right? So you get that connect where essentially even intrinsic to the India story is the right use of artificial intelligence. Many countries have done it. They've seamlessly ensured that AI is kind of plugged into their systems. For India, to some extent, it's happened, but a lot more can be done. And with such a large population, AI can do wonders and transformation in innovation, in ease of living, ensuring better standards of living, so much that AI can actually contribute to. And yes, when you talk of challenges, there is that one challenge that everyone's questioning about whether it takes away, opportunities from youngsters, from the youth. Contradict that with what the Prime Minister said, Aishwarya, which is that he said that, artificial intelligence is something that creates opportunities for youngsters. So the government and the Prime Minister making it very clear that rather than looking at it as something that steals your jobs, that could be a threat to you, embrace it.
Well, embracing is something that Prime Minister Modi and the top leadership of the BJP, they have been focusing on. They believe at the moment what we all need to do is to make sure that we look at opportunities, but opportunities that do not harm the citizens, opportunities that do not lead to those kind of morphed videos and pictures that we have seen. A lot of them, in fact, a lot of them doing rounds. So, and this is something which not just the Indian government at the moment, Akshita, is looking at, but we are seeing how the governments worldwide are also now grappling with this issue. They are also looking at making sure that there are some kind of barricades that have been put, some kind of global rules that are now being brought into force. And that's the reason why the CEOs of the top tech companies, they are the ones who then come into the picture. The government now will be speaking with them, and this is something that the world largely is looking at, a global framework of sorts. And India, let me tell you, is leading on this point. Prime Minister Modi, time and again, not just in India, but at various other places, has spoken about the fact that yes, technology is our friend, but we also need to very closely look at what's happening and the kind of harmful impact that it has. Let me also tell you, Akshita, something that the government at the moment is looking at. You would have seen how young children, 10 years, 12 years old, all of them have phones in their hands, a need to make sure that they are safe, their data is protected, their pictures are safe. That is also something that will be the focus point in the Global AI Summit that we are seeing taking place here in the national capital. Akshita.
And as Aishwarya gets us those updates, I'll go across to your namesake, Aishwarya Patil of Business Today, who's joining us on this broadcast. She's joining us live from the Bharat Mantapam, which is where the AI Impact Summit has kicked off. Aishwarya, I started off by asking Aishwarya Paliwal about what her experience was like inside Bharat Mantapam, which was the stall that excited her the most, what was the most innovation she saw. So I'd love to know from you, Aishwarya, what did you think?
Right. As far as today was the first day, of course, and Prime Minister Modi was set to arrive at 5 p.m. So as you can see, the visuals, he's already going through some of the exhibits there. All the big tech companies, including Google, Microsoft, Meta, all of them have set up their exhibits, but they will be open to the public only after tomorrow, because it's only been inaugurated by the Prime Minister this evening. As Minister Ashwini Vaishnav in the past had said, the AI ecosystem in India will attract more than $70 billion so as to develop our compute and all sorts of indigenous AI technology. So far, that's been the update. We saw this morning the bigwigs of the tech giants. Of course, Google Sundar Pichai will be attending. Google is also holding a summit on the 18th day after. So we'll be getting you all the updates from there. And we saw some of the ministers also
apologies.
receive.
I don't think Aishwarya can hear me, but we're going to continue getting you some of those reports from Bharat Mantapam and outside. Huge security ring, of course, as the Prime Minister has reached there, the Bharat Mantapam. He's going to be speaking anytime now at the AI Impact Summit. This is as big as it gets. You know, everyone's been talking about AI revolution. It's here. It's here in India, and the government doing everything they can to bring the focus to India as well, with global leaders, tech leaders, all coming together on this one platform, this one stage. Like I said, it's as big as it gets.